synonymous terms and mean the same thing. They both describe the political body who, according to our republican institutions, form the sovereignty and who hold the power and conduct the government through their representatives. They are what we familiarly call a sovereign people, and every citizen is one of this people and a constituent member of the sovereignty. Sovereignty itself is, of course, not subject to law, for it is the author and source of law. Okay, so that tells me two things. While sovereign powers are delegated to the agencies of government, sovereignty itself remains with the people, by whom and for whom all government exists and acts. Okay, so sovereignty itself is not subject to law, so therefore none of their code, rules, and regulations apply to me.
Sovereignty is the law.
Sovereignty is the law. We're the source of law. We create the law. We're the king, right? People of a state are entitled to all the rights which formerly belonged to the king by his prerogative. It will be admitted on all hands, with the exception of the powers granted to the states and the federal government through the constitutions. The people of the several states are unconditionally sovereign within their respective states. There's some of this stuff is on 14th Amendment, which is martial law amendment. So,
Has that ever been finally decided whether or not they're accepting the validity of the 14th Amendment or not?
well,
Because I saw it flip-flop.
the
back and
courts,
forth in that case.
the courts refuse to rule on it. Okay, because it's all under martial law. The courts won't rule on it. It's political. They call it a political
It
decision.
bursts their bubble.
The 14th Amendment is a revision. If you read that document, it's a revision. It's completely unconstitutional. Matter of fact, I brought that up in my last Supreme Court case, and the U.S. Department of so-called Justice waived their right to respond. So they said, yeah, okay, we know about that. These are all U.S. cases. I don't have any Canadian cases here, although I did in my PowerPoint presentation. I had one in the citizenship one, and we can go to that one if you want to see where that one is. Do you want the citation for that?
It'd be nice, yeah.
Actually, I have it here.
Oh, okay, so it's.
Notice that case up there, it says persons, Church of Scientology, a variety of entities other than human beings. I can give you a document that tells you unequivocally through use of all kinds of dictionaries and collegiate records that humans are godless men and women.
Right.
That don't believe in God.
That's true, yeah, and humans don't have a right to property too.
That's right, yeah.
Anyways, so you don't want to be a human.
Want to be a man.
Where I'm a living soul. That's what I say, I'm a living soul.
Yeah.
That's not in any of their definitions anywhere. Anyways,
So which section is that you're referring to in your binder?
sorry?
Is it section 1?
Yeah, yeah. It's on page 8. The sovereign people, through their representatives, have created the court and the board as well as the municipal council and have defined the rights and duties of each. That court case is called Reference Casaloma, 1927, and that's at 4 DLR 645.
See, this is where when you set up that court, you as a people have to notice them and say, we're now handling our own legal affairs.
Yeah, you're put on notice that we're convening our own common law jury and grand jury. And we're going to elect a judge, and
We have, it's already done.
well, I would tell them in advance, even. You know, I guess it depends on how much in your face you want to do.
Advertise the election.
Well, I wouldn't advertise it too far and wide. I'd
The
tell them,
election?
huh?
The election?
Yeah, well, it's up to you. I mean, but my attitude is that I don't want a bunch of brain-dead idiots voting in an election that they don't have any concept of, because then you'll wind up with a judge that doesn't have any concept. You see what I'm saying?
You have to stay within.
How many
people
judges
that
can
don't
be
understand
elected?
What's going on.
Well,
Right.
I mean, all you really need's one, because the
Here.
judge doesn't do anything except swear in the counting the grand jurors. So you just need a chief judge, really. But because it's not like the judge is going to hold any trials. The judge is just going to swear in the grand jurors and the common law jury.
Yeah, and it covers that here. It says in Ezra chapter 7, it says, Now Ezra, after the wisdom of thy God that's in thy hand, set magistrate and judges which may judge all the people that are beyond the river, all such as know the laws of thy God, and teach them that know them not.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's the best one in Canada that I could find.
Who actually selects the judge? The single judge that sits up on the big bench?
In,
in Edmonton here.
who selects him?
Yeah,
Oh, they have a roster of judges, and it may be some selection that's in the back room, or it may be he's the next on the list. I have no idea.
You have a court calendar.
Yeah, there's a calendar, right, but which judge gets what case? Who knows? I mean, they could just, this case goes to this judge and just go down the list, you know what I mean? It's, who knows what they do.
Well, the
But
lawyers
it's-
go in and they have a list of when the judges are sitting, and a lot of the in-the-know lawyers, they'll wait until that judge is sitting on that certain date, and they'll make sure there are court cases on that date, they'll file it for that date.
And it'll be a judge that's sympathetic to their
Yeah.
type of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, but these courts, these aren't government courts, these are private courts, aren't they?
Yes.
That's right, and so therefore it means nothing to us. It's like Ford and GM.
So how did the Queen, or how did we come under the situation of having these private courts?
The bankruptcy in 1933.
And I think more than that, I think that they knew, that they understood that they didn't have any authority, and that the people need to step up and take responsibility. And so they've been stepping back, and the people haven't been stepping up. You see what I'm saying? And so, you know, until we step up and start accepting responsibility and doing it, then
But if these are private courts, whose courts are they?
They're owned by.
they're owned by the banksters.
The creditor, the World Bank, the International Monetary Fund.
Anyways, I have these available. These are $100 a piece with the binding and tabs and everything. I've also got these. These are $60 a piece, and it's just basically the cost of copying. And you can take them yourself and you can bind them and tab them if you want.
Is that everything you covered more or less, and that's all?
This is everything we covered, right? And there's sample documents in here. There's documents, there's criminal complaints that I filed. There's documents in there that didn't get to criminal complaint. There was one that I did in Arizona, this town of Star Valley, and that where they didn't, the problem went away. And then there's several criminal complaints. There's one in Arizona, and there's one that's recorded, and there's a couple criminal complaints in Canada, and that kind of stuff. So it's basically several criminal complaints, notice and demand, and all that stuff, and it shows you how to basically put your case together.
Well, this is Glenn after.
Huh?
Well, I haven't got one of them right now.
Unless anybody has any questions, I think we're about done.
I wanna share a bit about these.
Okay.
I'll just show you this. This is the 2010 Criminal Code Martins,
Yeah, they changed the definition of it
and this is the same book, but 1980.
this year.
So if you notice the thickness, I'd say they've added a few laws. And what that tells me is what? More control over you and me
More
and everybody
business.
else.
More business.
Well, yeah, more business for them.
And they changed the definition of person in the new.
Yeah.